Okay, so now it's story time. And this, probably many of you know this story already quite well. This story of Asanga and Buddha Maitreya is so precious. You know, just reading it and contemplating it, it seems there are so many teachings for us in this story. From one point of view, we're learning some important history about our lineage, where these teachings have come from and so forth. But from another point of view, we are receiving many, many personal teachings for our own practice of Dharma, our own reliance upon our spiritual guide, our own effort and ability to overcome discouragement and so forth. There are so many beautiful teachings. So as I read this story, so you please contemplate its meaning. But while you're also listening to the meaning, you can be asking yourself, what is this teaching me? What is the personal advice in this story for me? What, by listening to this teaching, can we understand what we need to abandon, what we need to practice? Okay? What inspiration can we draw? And then perhaps later, over dinner, if you want, you can share with others. You know, you can ask them, hey, what did you get from this story? Okay? We have a wonderful Dharma conversation. The great practitioner Asanga had a sincere wish to receive teachings on the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, so that he could find within this sutra all the instructions on the stages of the path to enlightenment. Asanga tried to find a teacher who would teach him the hidden meaning of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, that is, the stages of the path to enlightenment, known as Kadampa. But he could not find such a teacher anywhere. Even that is teaching. Finally, Asanga decided to attain a direct vision of Maitreya, who had received these teachings directly from Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay, so Maitreya had received these teachings directly from Buddha Shakyamuni. Asanga decided, I need to receive a direct vision of Buddha Maitreya. To accomplish this aim, Asanga engaged in retreat in a remote mountain cave. For 3 years he concentrated on the visualization, meditation and recitation of the mantra of Buddha Maitreya. But his karmic obstructions prevented him from seeing Maitreya, and he became discouraged and stopped his retreat. After 3 years, sincerely engaging in his sadhana, he had not attained a direct vision and became discouraged. As he was returning to his home, he met a man who was working very hard at cutting a block of iron with a peacock feather. Asanga asked the man, "How can you cut this iron block with a peacock feather?" The man replied, "With effort, we can accomplish anything. Look, I have already made some progress." And he showed Asanga a mark on the iron block. Asanga then asked, "What are you going to do after cutting this iron block?" And the man replied, "Nothing, just leave it here." Boy, what teaching can we get from that? Is there some personal instruction? Asanga thought, if this man can work so very hard for something that has no meaning, surely I can work continually in my retreat for something that will bring great meaning for myself and countless living beings. He then returned to his retreat. So back he went to his retreat place. Venerable Geshe said that Asanga was particularly moved when the man said, "With effort, we can accomplish anything." He said it touched his heart, and so he decided to go back to his retreat. The man cutting the iron block with a peacock feather was in fact emanated by Maitreya for Asanga's benefit. Through this and his many other emanations, Maitreya continually helped Asanga. So if you want to read more details on this story, you can find the long version of the story in the book Living Meaningfully, Dying Joyfully. You can learn of the other emanations that Buddha Maitreya, or some of them. Okay, then, after 12 years of retreat, Asanga again became discouraged and left his retreat. 12 years he tried. So Maitreya emanated as a female dog that had collapsed on the roadside and was being slowly eaten alive by many maggots. When Asanga saw the dog, he developed strong compassion for both the dog and the maggots. To save the lives of both, he cut a piece of his flesh from his thigh, and taking all the maggots from the dog's body with his tongue, he put them on the piece of his flesh. What powerful compassion. Through these compassionate, virtuous actions, the karmic obstructions that had prevented him from seeing Maitreya were completely purified. And instead of seeing the dog, Asanga suddenly saw Maitreya. Then, with a feeling, with a feeling of both shock and joy, so shock and joy together. You could just imagine it, couldn't you? You're busy moving the maggots. And then suddenly, karmic obstructions are purified, and the holy, blissful form of Guru Maitreya appears in the space in front. Shocked, but full of joy, Asanga exclaimed, "Why did I need to wait such a long time to see you?" Maitreya replied, "I have been with you from the very start of your retreat. But your karmic mental obstructions prevented you from seeing me.